talk about the dissolution of the IG. The dissolution of the IG. This is not for the faint-hearted. If you are a very weak-minded person, you can just go off. I don't mind having just 30 people here and talk sense to them. After all, countries and nations are changed by 1% of people who are enlightened, not by the vast majority. So I'm going to be very honest and very, very frank today. We have a lot of development that I'm going to talk about. But first of all, I want to talk about the dissolution of the IG based on lies. The dissolutions of the interim government that is based on lies. And the collusion of certain activists, mega activists, to push these lies and falsehood to the Ambazonian people. If you have been following me for a long time, you realize that for 5 months till now, I was preaching about unity. I was preaching about accountability. I was raising questions about certain programs of our struggle, including my trip to Buea. And there was a unanimous position of other platforms and other activists to come after me and insult me and say that I'm a distraction. What I'm saying is just being criticized. I'm just criticizing. And today, all those same people are coming to you and they are telling you that, yes, my trip to Buea has failed. Yes, we have a failure in leadership. Yes, we had all these things. But these are the same people who were saying that it was a distraction to call for unity. It was a distraction to ask about questions about the real plan for my trip to Buea. As I speak to you today, Dr. Santos has resigned from the interim government. He has made it public. Not only him, about 20% of the IG has resigned and they have not made it public. Not only Dr. Santos has resigned, this is somebody who was insulting me here, coming here, and he insulted me in this platform. He was going around doing anything. Not only has he resigned, he is now talking about deep-rooted corruption in the interim government. He's now talking about how the interim government is in contact with with people from La République du Cameroon on a constant basis. And there are mega activists, which I will not call their name, who, as I'm speaking to you right now, they are begging him not to come out and expose what he knows from the interim government. They are begging him, activists are begging him to cover up because they don't want, in their own mind, they are thinking that this information can destroy the IG. In their own mind, they are thinking that this information can destroy the struggle. So I'm going to do everything I can do to the best of my abilities. I've been doing it for a long time since this struggle started. I don't care about popularity. I don't care about like or hate. Because one thing Ambazonian people should know is that you succeed. There is a video going around from an India guru who is talking about leadership. The leader will have to take you to where you have to go. What matters is his competence. It's not whether you like him or not. It's not whether you like him or not. Our idea of holding so much to the love that we have, as opposed to pragmatism, has become our greatest weakness. So I'm going to explain to you how you have been manipulated, how major mega activists are involved and have been involved in spreading falsehood that has led us to where we are today. And what is going on right now with Dr. Santos, maybe they will call him to come and say that I'm lying or whatever, but he knows that as I'm talking to you now, major activists, 2 of them, have contacted Dr. Santos to beg Santos not to come out and speak. And one of the people that he is discussing with, tell him that why don't you talk to Capo Daniel? Because Santos have come here to insist. He has, remember last time he opened the press club and he invited us there. When I went there, I saw that it was just a propaganda issue. It wasn't what it is. And I decided to leave. I didn't live there. I decided to come out of that chat group. And he came here, he insulted me and said all sorts of things about me. But I don't really mind, because actually when you decide to do what you do, you expect people to be insultive to you. So he has come around. He has a lot of things to say. Among the things he is saying, He's talking about the people in La Republique who are constantly contacting the interim government. Constantly. And major activists are begging him to stay quiet. Last week, one of the members of the Restoration Council, was kicked out of the Restoration Council. This is sacrilege. This have been going on. As I speak to you, over 20% of the people of the interim government from January have resigned, but they haven't made it public. And this lady who was kicked out of the interim government, she saw my video, and she was demanding the same things that I was demanding within the Restoration Council. Where is the plan to take us to Buea? What is the plan of the interim government to take us to Buea? And because he was asking this question, and we were being told outside that they have been told of the plan of my trip to Buea, the Restoration Council was aware. Because of this lady was kicked out. And I published her picture here, and I published her story here. And she called me, and she was basically telling me that why should I don't want my pictures to be out there. Please, I don't want to talk about this issue. I want to stay quiet. I felt so bad because this is somebody who knows the truth. This is somebody who was fighting for the truth. And these are the type of people that we have in the interim government. People who do not want their face to be shown. People who are afraid, not only of the interim government, but they are afraid of exposure. You cannot possibly have this type of people. This lady is a good person. She will stand for something that is good. But the whole purpose of being an effective body, of our struggle, our institution being effective, is to have people who are competent, people who have the backbone, who can stand up and challenge, who can stand up and fight for the people, who can stand up and fight for what they believe in. If you cannot get out of there, if you are afraid, get out of there. Get out of there. Get out of there. Think about all the people who have died. Think about all the people who have died. Think about all of them. All the sacrifices we have made. Is it worth it to prolong it for one more day? Unnecessarily. It is not. It is not. It's not worth it. So, what I'm talking about today in this particular segment is the falsehood that has been promulgated by major activists and the interim government. I would like to talk about specific issues that have been going on within our interim government. This is not only the first time that an activist, this particular activist, major activists, have been begging people not to speak out. There was even one time when the issue, it's just so many. You ask yourself, why are activists trying to cover up for the IG? Why are they doing that? Why are they trying to do that? Why? So some of them are beneficiary of the interim government. Some of them are beneficiary in terms of giving them information. Some in terms of belonging to groups that are directly financially beneficiary to my trip to Buea. So it is their interest to protect the interim government and that particular flow. Maybe not because of selfish interest in terms of them receiving direct money, but in terms of them having corrupt by power. They want to maintain their influence over Ground Zero. They want to maintain their influence over the Amber Boys. So corruption is not just physical cash. You have corruption of interest. You have corruption of popularity, which is even much more intoxicating than the corruption of physical money. So the first thing, they have been pressuring insiders to be silenced. They have been pressuring insiders to be silenced. Activists contacted by people who are inside and they tell them, no, they don't want this thing to go out. Just leave it there. We handle it behind. They have been pressuring insiders to be silenced. They have covered up and lied about band members. Activists in the struggle have covered up and lied about band members. You remember when the interim government, our AIP, released a document, says that he is banning specific people because they were refusing to collaborate with the investigative team who was investigating in the Naira 12. All the major activists that went along with that story, which was completely lies, are guilty of promoting falsehood. They are guilty of promoting falsehood. And look at what it has done. People, Mangang, who has been one of the staunchest supporters of Siseko Ayoktabi, she was removed from the interim government because she supported Ayoktabi and was blowing whistle about the ball being dropped in terms of pursuing and doing everything that it takes to release Siseko Ayoktabi and find answers to his case. She was banned because they didn't want her voice in the interim government. When the acting president of our interim government, he decided that, he passed a law that everybody who was associated with the investigation in one way or the other will step down. Mangang did not step down. Milan stepped down and other people stepped down publicly. And I called him. And he says that Mangang was so instrumental and her role in that investigation is so minimal that it can be waived. But when Mangang was banned, it was because she was fighting for the right thing to be done in terms of paying the lawyers and doing what it has to be done to get answers about the Ayoktabi and the other people within the Naira 12. That is why she was banned. Atta Milan was banned because of the same thing. He was influential with the lawyers who were working for our struggle. It is true Atta Milan was a subject. He was a suspect. He still remains, because that investigation is not completely closed, he still remains one of the people who are suspected to be involved in the adoption issue. He was a subject, because when something happened like that, everybody who was on that ground is a suspect. Atta Milan was still very influential to fight about Siseko and the people in South Africa. That is why he was banned. Dr. Akwanga, Dr. Ayabacho, people who were remotely, just because they say something, they were all banned. Major activists, they joined the interim government to cover up and say that yes, these people are banned because they are refusing to collaborate with the investigation, which we all know it was lie. What has the ban done? That ban still exists to today. But the interim president uses that ban to dismiss his vice president, a power he does not have in the constitution of the current constitution we have. He does not have the power. He removed Milton Takang in the pretext that he was working in violation of the ban that he has employed. The same ban that he himself violated by meeting Ayabacho and Dr. Kwanga in America. All this falsehood was done with the accomplices of major activists who cover up for the interim government because they had an interest in maintaining their power and their influence both over the people on ground zero and within the interim government. They did that. No matter the reason that they think that by going along with the interim government down that route, it might empower the interim government or make them to push us to Boya. But falsehood will never take us anywhere. Lies will never take us anywhere. A righteous person is established, God established people in righteousness, not through falsehood. Not through falsehood. Not through falsehood. Light and cover up about the ASC. The interim government does not have any ground troops of its own. The interim government does not have any ground troop of its own. They have never raised up any army. Apart from the ARA, which was a project that was abandoned. It was a project that was abandoned. All the fighters that are fighting for the ASC are not fighters that were originated, that were created by the interim government. You have the dragons that were within this within the ASC. You had the one of the biggest group that was there, that was like the interim government force, was a group about 1,000 fighters which belongs to somebody in China. And the person in China have withdrawn those troops because the people who were using those troops were using him and the group to position themselves and their friends within positions within the interim government. And he withdrew those troops. The second, apart from the Tigers, the next contingency of troops that were inside the interim government were the troops from the Southern Cameroon Defense Force, the SCDA of South Frontier. South Frontier has come out. Those troops who were loyal to General Yimfo, they have since withdrawn and formed on ground zeros. I have 7 of those commanders, people with real guns, people who have been in most of the actions that you have been hearing were performed by these people. They have come out and formed the AMC, the Ambazonia Military Council. How many activists have talked about it? None. 0. The videos have been out. How many of them have talked about it? 0. Because they are still promoting, they are still projecting falsehood, thinking that by promoting and propagating falsehood, somehow, I don't know what they are thinking about at the end of the day. Because when there is a problem, you address the problem, you talk about the truth about the problem, you look about what went wrong, and then you resolve the problem. You are able to move forward. The same thing happened with Tiger One. The same thing happened with Tiger One. Tiger One, who was the representative of the Tigers in the ASC, when it came about the issue of giving the interim government through their representative or exposing the list of their fighters in the ASC, which will go to the interim government, he refused. He refused. What happened? When he withdrew, the measure activists, they came out to lie that he did not exist. That he did not exist. Some people are asking that, why are we confused? Ambazonia people, they are saying we are confused. What is true? What is not true? Because measure activists have connived with the respectable interim government to be promoting lies. To be promoting lies. I don't say this because I support what A or B or D. I don't really care about which side win. I don't give a damn about which side win. All I want is just that this struggle should end as soon as possible. Let people's life return back to normal. Let us have our independence. Let our life be free forever. Because I don't want an issue where we will go back to the same pot soup that we were before. So I really don't care. I really don't care. Whether who like me, who say what, whoever say, I really don't care. What they say in Bamenda, give up there. I'm give up there. I really don't care. So when they lied about Martin, he came out. At the end of the day, what happened? The list which he was fighting for, that list is going to be leaked. That list was eventually leaked, or it was mistakenly leaked, or whatsoever. But the point remains that the reason why he was crying actually happened. The reason he was crying actually happened. What happened? Did they go back to him? No. They didn't go back to him. Our people have been lied and lied and lied and lied and lied again. We have been given falsehood and falsehood and falsehood. It was not necessary. It is possible for we to solve our problems. It is possible for we to handle the problems that we have faced in this struggle right from the beginning. The problem is each time a problem comes up, instead of we receiving that problem, examining that problem, look who is wrong, look who is right, and solve the problem and look for a way forward. No, we lie because we are afraid of the truth. We are afraid, we are thinking we are trying to protect the Ambazonian public from the truth. Thinking that by lying to you, the Ambazonian people, somehow you are going to just be in the nostalgia of being high. And then you will not think of, you will not be discouraged. But they fail to understand that those high that comes with falsehood cannot last for long. When you are giving people hope in terms of falsehood, it does not last for long. We have to be sincere in our assessment, in our assessment in how we can succeed. Are we going to be succeed or not? Some people think that we cannot fail, this struggle cannot fail. In their mind, we are already in Boya. And they want to sell this type of image to people. People have to know. Those of us who have been living in a developed country for over 16 years, and I can tell you for sure that everything and everybody can fail. Success comes only with hard work. if we are not doing the hard work, if we don't know that we can fail in this struggle, we will fail. We will fail, and it will shock people. If we don't know that we can, our struggle can fail, then we are already in a very bad mental state. The first thing you have to know is the risk that if we do not do the right thing, if we do not take the right action, our struggle can fail. That should be the right motivation to push us to Boya. Not that we should deceive ourselves and we don't even entertain the thoughts that we can go wrong or that we are going wrong. If you do not realize the mistake you are making and you keep on doing the same thing, deceiving your own self, thinking that you are moving forward when you are standing only on the same place, at the end of the day, that reality will set in and people will start asking questions. And the result will be too bad. It will be too bad. Let me delete this guy. Just give me a minute. Yeah, I've said this is my platform. If you are here to listen, if you are here to observe, be very respectful. Don't disrespect me here. You can go and do that somewhere else or do it in your own page. So go and ask all the activists, why have they not reported about the AMC? Why have they not reported about the AMC? Go and ask them. Why they didn't tell you? Ask them. When they were telling you that Tiger 1 did not exist, was it true? Tell them, how many groups does the interim government have on the ground? Ask them, how many groups does the interim government have on the ground? They have lied to you about Odeshi. They have lied to you about Odeshi because the reason is this. I will tell you the truth. Odeshi videos, when you see our people on the ground, they make Odeshi videos. In the mindset on ground zero, with our level of literacy, those videos are like advertisement. It's like when you want to go to the American military or you want to go to other military, they show you that they have good weapons. If you come to our military, you have the best weapons, you'll be safe. So Odeshi videos are giving assurance to our boy. It's like a bulletproof. You know, white man, they have their bulletproof. We in Africa, what we have is Odeshi. Everybody in ground zero want to join the group that have a good Odeshi. When they see those videos, they want to join. They are motivated to join. So groups that have their Odeshi pastors, they are doing their things and showing their video. The group that does not have the Odeshi, they don't want us to show. They will say, hey, don't show it. Why are you showing it? People who in the beginning of this struggle were sharing images of Odeshi, when they see that other groups are now showing Odeshi, groups are not under their influence, they start to say that we should not show Odeshi video. We should not show Odeshi. We are exposing our secret. What type of secret? The white man army, La Republic army, they have gun proof. They show their gun proof. They show their armored car. They parade it on our street so that we should take video and send it to our boys. Then we will be afraid. They make videos and send it to us. So when our people, they want to show that we have Odeshi power, Odeshi is working, they demonstrate Odeshi, and they send this video. This is advertisement to their groups. They want new recruits to come in. This is the reality. But they will use Connie to twist it and say, no, don't show it. Hey, why is this one doing this one? The same thing that they are doing. The same thing that they are doing. They'll say, hey, don't show it, don't show the background. They're not like our troops on the ground that who can care about their location more than them. The people on the ground, they care about their location more than us. So before they want to show any background in the video, they are aware that that background can be located. Either they do it in a place where they were transiting, or they do it in a place that they want the La Republic to know that they are there, even though they may not be there. So these are things that are there, but our people, they will use manipulation. Hey, don't expose them. We don't want this type of video. We don't want, don't show Odeshi. But their real intention is that they don't want this other group to be promoted. They don't want this other group to have fighters, because they want the fighters to go to the groups that they have influence over. They don't care about the fact that we have to be, every group can fight. The more people fight, the easier we can win. But they just care about the glory, the popularity, the influence that they will have, or the money that their own groups will be having. So they have been guilty in that they have been promoting falsehood Our activists, major activists, have been promoting falsehood. They have been doing that. Lies cannot liberate us. You cannot lie because of convenience, because it is convenient for you. You come and lie to the Ambazonian people. They have lied too much. They have lied to you too much. The interim government is the #1 liar. You remember when Ayabacho was in Dadi, Nalovabi, the secretariat at that time, I came online to talk about that story. They called me and said that you have betrayed us. It has become a betrayal to tell the reality of other groups. It is a betrayal within the interim government to talk about something like that. It is a betrayal. All those things have destroyed our struggle. Our people are incapable of knowing the truth because the people that they count on are involved in manipulating public opinion. They are involved. They do so deliberately. Deliberately. Today, the Ambazonian people, they actually believe that ADF does not exist. People believe. I will tell you the truth. Any man where he get fine clothes, he went for outside with the siam. Any man where he get fine clothes, he went for outside with the siam. Go back, go look only the video, then where it exists about all the fighters. Count them, see what now get the highest troops. Now get the highest national troops. The truth of the matter is that ADF have the highest number of troops. They have the highest military success on the ground. Our greatest military achievement on the ground is taking out the DO in Batibo. It was done by ADF. When it happened, what happened? They come and told us that no, it is not, we don't know who. The major activists, they came out and they were saying they don't know who did that job. They don't know who did that job. They don't know. Hey, we don't know you because they don't want to tell you who did the job. They said we don't know it. When Chris Anu said that the troops in the ASC should go and neutralize other groups, should go and kill other Ambazonian fighters, they didn't just say it. They arrested 3 ADF fighters. These young boys, they tied them. A senior member in the office of Dr. Sako sent me their video and asked me to publish that video. And I said, no, I cannot publish this video because these guys are too young. He said, okay, you just want to publish the things of the ADF, you don't want to publish our own. I said, no, it's not about that, sir. It's not about that. You cannot put this video out there. These kids are too young. Eventually, 2 of those kids died. They were killed. 9 other fighters who were with the Tigers, loyal to Tiger 1, that were arrested. There were 9 of them in captivity. 6 of them were killed and their body thrown into water. They came out with their hands with blood. You could see the chain marks on their hands. Chain marks on their hands. Their body full with blood. Mosquitoes have bitten all over their body. They send me the video and they call and say, Capo, Daniel, look what they ran do for we. Now Red Dragon and this so they want kiwi for day. With Cristiano, he brought them for day. Now they want kiwi for day. That other boy, the way they be catch with them, that 2 boys, they ran kill and trade their body for water. Ambazonians, what do? You stay quiet because the main activists, they cover up for them. So there is no public information, there is no public outreach. And today, Ambazonians are being told that in Batibo, ADF are going around chakaring. As they don't go chakara people that come, ADF, they go fight people them. The same Ambazonians are believing it. And they are outraged. But the body that they saw mosquito who wanted to kill these fighters in Tiger, these Tigers fighters, they had blood in their hands. They have chains. Exhibit A. They take Connie, Ton, and so forth now. It not been any problem. It not been any problem. Falsehood. You get Sokadev. Sokadev, they be done to decide for be very quiet. The group them be the way them be. Them be the way them be. While people they don't be manipulated so much that they don't even know the reality. They are afraid to face the truth. Look at what happened in Washington, D.C. We have gone to Washington, D.C. This meeting in Washington, D.C., the Unity Conference, was initiated by me and Lucas Anso. We gathered the people who did it, who we believe are independent people. They formed this group. They manage everything by themselves. We just support them. Every activist was involved in giving them advice. That Unity Conference, the interim government in every single way were blocking it. use this excuse. No, we don't want to read this way. Hey, every complaint. When we come and we talk about it, they will come out and they will lie. Everybody will believe it because they have the biggest microphone. And our people, they know that we were telling the truth. And they know that the interim government was lying. But because they think it is convenient, because they support the interim government and they want the interim government to succeed, like we don't support the interim government. I actually support the interim government. I support the idea. But I cannot just allow them to stand on false basis because it would end up destroying us. They went there to America. After they did, they had agreements there. Everything was nice. Our AIP, Dr. Sako, came out with lies and give these lies to his Secretary of State to spill them out there. And what was the reaction of the activists, the major activists, our mega activists? They came out and they said, oh, we are disappointed with all our leaders. All our leaders have failed us. They go to America and they are fighting about money. They are setting the queue for the whole republic, of Southern Cameroon to follow. And what is happening, go to WhatsApp, all the WhatsApp group. Everybody starts to repeat the same thing. Oh, all of our leaders are fighting. The whole ground zero starts to be discouraged. All of our leaders are fighting. What a lie. This is a lie. Our leaders were not fighting. The interim government was fighting. The interim government was making falsehood. The interim government did not want the unity. That is what happened. The other leaders were there. Imagine yourself. You don't come out, go sit down for inside unity conference. So now she don't make unity. Now she don't talk something fine. You there with your good faith. So now come for unity. One man come out, go outside, go lie, start chakara, all talk una talk for day. Then people them for outside then start blame all una for day. Say oh una na lie people them. Oh una no one unity. When you do like that, what do you think you are doing to those innocent leaders who were sitting there with good faith to have the unity? What do you think you have been doing? What do you think you have been doing? What is the effect? The people on ground zero, they don't look how this thing goes, so they don't feel discouraged. One mommy call me when I wada. I know call the area where they did na wada, na anglophone wada. That mommy say, if na so na they do the thing no. If a better self say me na no ever me even abobala say me no ever exist. If na so na they do. Because they see how we go for Washington, all man for the ground zero. They know say we go come out with unity for day. We all the fight with the boy they ran the fight for ground. We go come out for day. One leader, the interim government, destroy it all. And then what do? We blame all of the other leaders. Whatever they do, we blame all the other leaders. Whatever the interim government do, it does not matter. Hey, I about sure the ADF have gone to Chakara, some places in Batibo. So we will get outraged about that. They will publicize that one. When the interim government do it, it is okay. We sit down like cowards. Because we have lived La Republique is still in us. We look at our interim government like it is La Republique for us. Other mega activists, they will come you and they will tell you that we have a government. We have a government. When somebody come and lie to you that we have a government, there is no intellectual mind, no legal mind, not even Dr. Carson Anyangwe, who is going to tell you that we have a government. The interim government is a governing organization. It is not a government like a government. It is not. It is not. When you say that we have a government, what are you giving? What is the impression you are giving to the people? You are telling the people that this thing is stable. We have to go along with it no matter what happens. A leadership can only come through it. The implications are vast. There is a new line that people are saying that, hey, AGC is also a government. Ayabacho want to form a government. And they are promoting all this false narrative. The truth is that AGC is a government. In that type of category, if you want to use that their own definition of a government, AGC was meant to be like a government. It's not a new thing. The Republic of Ambazonia was meant to be like a government. It have a president. Godidinka is the president of Ambazonia. Do you want to come now to start to tell me that he is guilty of having a government? Do you want to say he's guilty of having a government? There have been governments that have been formed. Of course, these are not really government in terms of the legal word of government. These are governing organizations. Ask any legal person who have studied law. The definition of a government is not a layman's definition. Government is not a grammatic word. It is a technical word. You cannot say that we have a government. A government has a legitimacy. It has a mandate as defined by international laws of the people in the United Nations. There are international norms to call somebody a government. Even if a government is in exile, the government that they recognize, that the world recognizes a government on exile, is not a government formed without legitimacy. There are governments that are formed with legitimate legal procedure to form a government. We don't have a government. We do not have a government. And our people, because they have been fed with all these fake lies and all this falsehood out of convenience, they are incapable of making the changes or putting the pressure on the interim government to make the changes that it deserves to make for us to have our independence. Because we have based it on falsehood. You remember, 4-5 months ago, I was saying that my trip to Boya is flawed. We go along with it, but it's flawed. They were saying we should not ask questions. Now, the same people who were criticizing and insulting me, they have called me all type of names for this struggle. And my own camp, they don't call me all kind name them. The same people today that they can't stand talk say, yeah, it is true. The interim government, my trip to Boya have failed. It has fallen short of expectation. Chris Anu was saying that, oh, there will be hurricane next week. I wanted to talk. The guy said, hey, you guys should wait. They will buy. What have they bought? Nothing. For over 400 million CFR. What have they done with the money? Nothing. Give half of that money to Dr. Akwanga. Give half of that money to Ayabachu and see what they will do with that money. And see what they will do with that money. Just give them half of that money and see what they will do with that money. So it is really unfortunate, but we have to resolve to trust our people with truthfulness, to trust with our people with the real state of our revolution, so that they can be capable of applying the necessary public pressure for our leaders to do the right thing that it would take for us to liberate our land. We have to do the right thing. I've proven to you the greatest military success that we have had so far was done by the ADF, which was taking out the DO in Batibo. In terms of land control, yes, the dragons and some of the tigers control Lebialem, but we know that Sokadev and ADF, they control multiple terrains, they control multiple areas. Even the AMC, the Ambazonia Military Council of South Frontier, they have areas that they control that we know. The interim government does not have, the only place you can say they want to claim control over can be the areas of the Red Dragon. But you ask yourself, what is the Red Dragon doing in Lebialem? Question number 1. Go and ask your major activists, who is Field Marshal? Where did Field Marshal come from? Go and ask your activists. The last time they told you that Lebialem is being attacked, La République du Cameroon, they cut off internet, they cut off electricity, the electricity in Lebialem, that they are attacking Lebialem. Our major activists, they came to you and said that there was a bloody fight, they had killed a lot of bees, and you could see the Red Dragons putting on new uniforms of bee. Go and ask your major activists. They should tell the Red Dragons that Capo Daniel is asking for the dead bodies of those soldiers. They should show us the dead bodies of those soldiers. And they should justify why they remain in Lebialem till today. And why they have never been confronted openly. And we see the videos like the guys in Menchum have done, the guys in Esu have done. Before, when there was the tigers, total control of tigers in Lebialem, they were fighting every day. They were fighting every day. We could see the pictures. When Tiger One was there, we could see the pictures. Go and ask them this question. I'm not accusing anybody of anything. But when it barks like a dog, it speaks like a dog, then you have to ask a question, is it a dog? Let them prove beyond reasonable doubt the questions that we see. Let them answer the questions that we see. Go and ask your major activists, the mega activists. Ask them, the time you told us that these Red Dragons, they fight in Lebialem and kill so many people and they have wear their uniform. Let them show us the picture of one dead body. And what was it all about that La République himself was involved in cutting off the light, having total blackout, Then we hear of victory. The only picture we have out of there, the only picture is a school that was, they said that it was bombed from the air. It was bombed on the air. We have to come to reality in our struggle. You have been told enough lies by the interim government and the major activists. If they were doing so because it was convenient, if they were doing so because they were corrupted by popularity and their influence over ground zero, it will never help them. What will it benefit us if we deceive ourselves and lose this fight? What will it benefit us if we deceive ourselves and lose this fight? We must come down to reality. Now they are telling you that there is a failure in leadership. Failure in leadership does not mean that we don't have leader or we don't have leaders. Failure in leadership means that our leader or the leader who is supposed to be the leader of the struggle, which is the leader of the interim government, because it is an organization that was given the mandate by the consortium which came from Ground Zero and the other nationalist group. Even though it is being challenged, they have that moral obligation to lead the struggle. Why, when they say there is a failure of leadership, go and ask them, what type of failure do they talk about? The failure is this, let me tell you. The interim government has failed to unite the struggle. That's why people are moving away from Cameroon, from La Republic, from Ground Zero. They have observed about our struggle. They were thinking that we will come out as one and it will precipitate our victory. They have seen that we are not coming together. People in Ground Zero, they are disappointed. And that disappointment should be directed to the interim government. They should resolve that issue. They have deceived themselves that Ayabacho wants power. They have deceived themselves that Dr. Kwanga, only him can lead. If it is not him, nobody else. They have deceived themselves that only Bo Heber wants to lead. They have lied to themselves and they have lied to you. Today I see people talking about Ayabacho wants to become president. Akwanga wants to become president. When did you ever hear them say that? When? Whenever. Quote me one instance that Ayabacho said that he wants to be the leader of the struggle. One instance. And I will contribute $1,000 to any defense force of your choosing. Give me one proof. As a matter of fact, Ayabacho have said that he wants a Sauduna to be our leader. He has said that he's willing to work with the interim government and its leader. Dr. Akwanga has said that he doesn't want the government. He didn't say that he wants to be the government. He said that he doesn't want the government. It's not effective. Bo Herbert has said that we need to add the legitimacy from ground zero through direct or indirect election. None of them have not said that they want to take power. No. None of them have never said that they want to take power. We have to have a leadership that has a vision, that has a mandate, that has a program. They have lied to you tired. If you don't realize that they have been lying to you and start asking them questions, they will never resolve to change. And they are going to delay us until the day that they will come to make that choice. Remember when we started saying that we need a acting president before anything can happen? They delay for over how many months before they give you? We said that we want unity. They delay for how many months? And now we are telling you that we want honesty. We will see how long it will take. Maybe they will start to insult me. Tomorrow they will start to insult me everywhere. But eventually they will come back to this same point. We must build our struggle on truthfulness, honesty, integrity, and unity. Then we can succeed to have progress. We have wasted a lot of capital. Diplomatic capital is a tangible thing. When you have declaration from United Nations Security Council, they don't exploit it. You have progress on the ground, you don't exploit it. You have refugee crisis, you do not exploit it. Because we have failure of leadership. Our leadership is incompetent. The leadership of Dr. Samuel Sako is incompetent. It does not mean that he does not want to take us to Boya or not. It simply means that he has failed to provide the leadership to unite us. He has failed to exploit the economic capital to give us progress. And they have been building their covering up with their failures by giving us false narrative. And the activists of this struggle, the major big activists, are also involved in that narrative. The recent one is the issue of General Ivor, which I'll explain. But first of all, remember what happened when the AGC joined us with the UNPO. They were saying that, oh, the UNPO is fake. This is not. They make all type of complaint. They even went up to some of their shows of the activists and they were making stupid, unnecessary argument. And what happened? The AGC today was received in UK in the House of Lords. Those are diplomatic doors that have been opened by the UNPO. The UNPO have come up with a whole big package on how to help us to have our independence. They have come up with a big package. We should have joined with these people. We join with these people together. We do it together. We have to unite. Imagine yourself if we come together as one. All the interim, the Skakuf people that form the Skakuf, all this nationalist group, they come together as one. And then they create this interim government or this interim organization or whatsoever it is as an executive body. And they have to use this executive body to put all their program through. That means that this AGC program in the UNPO, they would have given it to the main group now, or the IG or whatsoever it would be called, for them to use it. Or they will do it in their name. Their officials will be going there, not as AGC, but they will be going there as a united front. Whatever body will be doing, they will be quoting it on our name. Remember that even the case we won in Gambia, it was won because Dr. Ebenezer Akwanga had important documents that was given to him by John Gufoncha as a youth league leader. He brought those documents. It was on the basis of those maps that he brought in court that we won. So it was a coalition of SCYL, Capo, SCNC, plus freelance lawyers who came there and was working on pro bono, that we won those cases because they were united. They were united. We have to unite ourselves. I've spoken to everybody who was in, most of the people who were in the fourth conclave. All of them have lost confidence in the leadership of Mola Sako. They have lost confidence in his leadership. They have lost complete confidence. General Ivo came out and look at 22nd of September is coming. It's Memorial Day. They are doing nothing about it because why? It is Dr. Ayabacho who have declared it, so nobody will go there. John Egowang, a highly respected general, he come out to say that the interim government will not stand by any other troops. What nonsense is that? What nonsense is that? You will not stand by anybody, so you will stand alone. Anything that they are doing, you are not there. 1st of October is coming. There is no consultation among the activists of what can we do. Election is coming. There is no consultation by what can we do, because it is now an interim government for the interim government by the country heads for the country heads and their friends. It's not about Ambazonia again. The interim government is nothing to do about Ambazonia. It's all about the country heads and their cronies that they have put together in the interim government. That is all it is about. When they are saying, no, let's defend the interim government, they are defending themselves, not the struggle. Because if you say that you cannot stand with somebody who is fighting for what you want, then you are not fighting for the same thing. When we came here and we said that there was news coming from ground zero that the interim government was involved in some level about communication to dialogue with La République du Cameroon, they refused. That there was no contact between the interim government and La République du Cameroon. I have played the video of my interview with the lawyer in Abuja. The lawyer clearly said that he was contacted by the Cameroon government to go and be the negotiator with the leaders in the prison. And he refused. He contacted the interim government. And they were aware. But they came, when we announced that issue, at the time we heard this information, we actually heard it from Cameroon. They refused. Today, Dr. Santos have come out. He's talking now. He said that the interim government has been having communication with a lot of people from ground zero, from La République. That's what he's saying. He may not tell you guys again, or because we know that, as I speak to you, 2 activists, major activists, are begging him not to talk. They are begging him not to talk. So shine your eye. Ask questions. Ask the interim government, how many people have resigned? What is the reason? How come can you remove somebody from the Restoration Council? Because he's asking for your plan to go to Boya. So you don't have the plan, you remove him. You remove her. The Restoration Council is supposed to be like a parliament that you cannot touch anybody. And how many parliaments do we have? We have the Country Heads Committee, and then you have the Restoration Council. two of them playing the same rule. If they carry it here, if it cannot work, they will go here and do it to twist it, and then it will pass. That's how it will end. That's how it will end. So I will tell you people again. I will tell you, and I will repeat it. Our struggle has been based on falsehood and delusion. Major activists has involved themselves in promoting false narrative and false hope out of convenience and due to the corruption of power and popularity. They have to stop it because they care about the Ambazonian people. It is only by truth and honesty, it's only through unity that we can stand. Divided we shall fall. It's only through unity that we can stand. I urge you to ask them this question. It is a fact. Our greatest military success was done by ADF. Secondly, ADF and Sokadef with the Dragons, with AMC, they are the only 4 groups that controls territory on ground zero. They are the only 4 groups that are acting like a national group. These are the only groups. The interim government does not have any control over those lands or any soldier. They don't have. The control that they have is the money that they collect from the Ambazonian people and pay these people to incentivize them. And that is not an effective way to prosecute a war. That is not an effective way to prosecute a war. We must be honest, we must be truthful, and stop the falsehood. Because to maintain that lie, they have to lie on top of that lie. They have to manipulate people. Tell people, no, you must give all the money to me. Then I will have leverage. We don't need leverage anymore. This is a collective struggle. The only way we can prosecute something collectively is through democratic principles of consultation, of debates, of analysis, of bringing out the best ideas we have and push it forth. It's not about popularity. It's not about love of leader or love of another person. It's about love of country and putting the general interest before everybody. We have to do that. How many things we have lost because we hate people? We hate this one. Our people have now bought into this false narrative. They don't even want to hear about people who have solutions because they have told them this one is power monger. Hey, this one is this one. Everybody, you know, I see the way they treat with even Tapang Ivor. I was the greatest critic of Tapang Ivor. I felt let down by Tapang Ivor because when Tapang Ivor was the chairman of the head of the consortium, his switch from federalism to nationalism took longer than I expected and longer than I liked. I criticized him. As a matter of fact, for me, it was the same because before I changed from federalism to nationalism, it took me some time. I actually have written a lot about it. But that said, once somebody have come through, you have to trust him because this is not your thing. Anybody who thinks that this struggle is my thing, I have all the right, I will have to control the narrative, I will have to control who can say what, who cannot say what. That person is living in Alice Wonderland. This thing belongs to all of us. We are all patriots. Every Southern Cameroon. One more question. Go and ask your interim government. Dr. Simon Monceau, whom Chris Anu had explained to us that he is working for Paul Biya. He's not even somebody working for the country. He's working for Paul Biya. He's a trainer of the civil servants or the SGO. He's the one giving them our own secret, our own Anglophone secret. Why was he invited in their conference there? Why was he invited? What was that about? Go and ask question. The things that you do not understand, there are some things we know, there are some things we do not know. But there are some things that prick our conscience, that does not seem right. Those things we must seek for answers and get clarification. We must vet them and make sure that any communication they are having with La République du Cameroon, it is for our good. And anything that is good is done in daylight. It's not done in hidden. It's not being hidden. So the next time a mega activist come and tell you we should use only this name, we should use only this way, go and attack this one who is doing this other thing, go and attack this one who is doing this other thing, don't follow them like Mumu. Don't follow them like Mumu. Because the same people before, they were telling you, come and insult me that I'm asking too much question about my trip to Boya. Today they are saying it was not effective. How long has it taken? How long? How long has it taken? I preach here about the Haiti solution. We preach it onto one group. The Godfather, they went into that project. They shut down CDC. What has happened? They were arrested by who? By soldiers who were loyal to the ASC. And they were neutralized. Today, CDC is recovering back small behind the vaccine. What was that about? What was that about? They want to set us to fight each other. They want us to set us to fight a civil war now. Ayabacho have released a document now to say that the ADF has decided if somebody does not toe the line in their territory, they are going to arrest you. And that was a response to what the interim government said. Imagine how the way people have attacked the ADF and Ayabacho for saying that. And imagine the same people, their response when Chris Anu actually said that they should kill other people. What was their response? When they said that, when they actually killed people, and those people ran away from the bridge, they came, they show you blood on their body. They show you their hands being tied. They show you what the same people did. I ran talk my own. I ran move all things with my belly. I talk them. I will say this one. I'm not a perfect person. I don't know everything. There are things that I know and there are things that I don't know. But the things that I know, I will say. The things that I see and does not fit well with my eyes, with my sight, I will say. I'd rather be punished for something that I know and I've said it than something that I didn't know and I didn't say it and I sit behind and I say, had I known, I should have said it. The other day I said on the platform that there were people, major activists in this struggle, who are planning to use PAP, political party, the party of Ayapo. Not that Ayapo is involved. He is not involved at all. But this information is coming from a journalist from Ground Zero who told me that Capo Daniel, someone activists and day for day, where they already the plan. How if we go now for federalism, how we can translate this energy from this struggle to their political advantage from Ground Zero. Activists who are in this struggle. It doesn't mean that they have make arrangement with poor Ayapo, but they are already talking about how they will use that platform. When I said it, Akosong Pauline came to my platform and he insulted me and said that hey, na true self say we Eric Tato the toxic some of na herbalist. I am, first of all, I'm not a herbalist, but I'm proud of herbalists. All the native doctors who have been treating our parents before the coming of the white man. I'm very proud of them. Chinese medical doctors are herbalists. They have professional accreditation and they function well within their society. I'm proud of my tradition. I'm proud of my culture. I have no complex. This is who I am. I am my identity. I'm proud of it. I will not return the insult of Akosong Pauline. Raymond, Akosong Raymond. I will not return his insult. But as a gentleman, I will tell him that I have the right to put out there the things that I know, including things that are theory, clearly stating it that it is a theory. I have the right, because the people have the right to know. If tomorrow they start to see people start to make like this, they start to see people making corny, dragging them going this way, dragging them go this way, they will not be following them like fools. They will at least have to ask the question, but why is this person behaving abnormally? Why is this activist behaving abnormally? Today, our people are leaving our country, back to Egypt. Going to Egypt. For two things. One is the issue, the failure of leadership to provide them education. Activists, we are out here sending our children to school. We have to have conscience. This is not a game. Are you guys, I don't know, because if these people, they are intellectual people, then they definitely know that keeping our children out of school indefinitely will backfire. Our population will turn against this struggle. It is the truth. Nobody can keep your child in the house for 5 years or 10 years, even there is war. Nobody. Nobody. So if we are honest, we are going to look for a solution for studies. I'm not calling for school resumption. What I'm calling for is our educational system. Restoration is not only about the nation. Restoration means many things. We have to restore our studies. Bring back Southern Cameroon educational system. Produce the books. Bring them back and our students will stay. Now only the poor people are there. Who is fighting for those poor children who don't have money to go to school in Yaoundé? Who is fighting for the poor children who don't have money to go to school to Douala? Every day I led my children to go to school and I'm here. Ambazonia children are not going to school. I cannot stand here to preach about them. We must give them an education even in war. Our children must have an education. Print them books. We have seen brave Ambazonians in the Ministry of Education printing book with Ambazonia flag. We understand that there is a PR, there is a propaganda issue about school boycott. But there are 1,000 ways you can go about it. They can institute a law that any school wants to open must hang Ambazonia flag. There are many ways, 1,000 ways you can do that. Now our children who were protecting them against Francophonization are now going to be Francophonized. And remember that when people leave our territory, this is bad for the Amba boys because they will be easily neutralized. The whole theory about guerrilla tactics is staying within the population. Look in Syria, before they want to kill, before the government troops they want to kill people, they ask the population to leave. They ask the population to leave. Let me block this guy, Tiku guy. Please excuse me. I've said, like I've said, this is my platform. When you come here, respect me, give my space, listen to what I have to say. You can ask questions later. If you just come here to insult me or spread propaganda, you are not welcome. Not everybody is welcome here. Only people who are smart, who have a brain on their own are welcome here. This is not a place for cheerleading. This is advocacy. This is a place of analysis, of commentary. It's not a place for cheerleading. We don't just come here and talk about how good we feel. But now is the time we have to focus about 3 principal things. The first thing is Memorial Day. The major activists, they are not promoting Memorial Day because it is being promulgated by the AGC. But we have a duty as a people to prepare for this day. If it was something promoted by the IG, all of them will be singing it every day. But they are just putting it now as basic as possible. Because they don't want anybody to... It's about glory. It's about their influence. The influence that they have in something. When they don't have an influence in something, they don't want to put their hand there. Because it is not just about Ambazonia anymore. We will promote the 22nd of September for Memorial Day. If nobody celebrates that day, I will celebrate it by myself. Me and my family will celebrate it. For the life of all those people who came out and they sacrificed to declare that they want to separate. I will celebrate it. And I encourage every Ambazonian, for the sake of Ambazonia, celebrate that day. The 1st of October, our national day, there is I'm not seeing no coordinated action with activists in any measure way in that regard. Have your own initiative. Print your own flag. Sponsor flag in Ground Zero for that day to be celebrated worldwide in amber colors. Take your action. We lack leadership. Clearly, we lack leadership. If we had a leadership, our people would already been told what to do. We don't have that leadership now. Our leader is more concerned about who take the glory, who is not. General Ivor came out and said that on the 25th of September, according to information that he has had intelligence on the ground, he wants all roads to be blocked because he wants to send a message to the international observer that they are not welcome and also to stop movement of ballot box and so on and so forth. Instead of us rallying everybody to say that from the 25th, nobody should move a vehicle. Some activists were writing and telling people we have to wait for the interim government to say. And some of them even create a fake story that on the 16th was not was not the right day, just because they want to minimize something that somebody else is doing. They don't want it to have that attention that it deserves. Because of what? Of influence. Because they have been corrupted by influence and popularity. They are benefiting from my trip to Boya. Influence to the people that they control that are receiving those money. That is the truth about it. That is the truth about it. Go and ask them why they are not talking about AMC, Ambazonia Military Council, a group of soldiers who have withdrawn from the ASC, and they are the biggest group that the IG was counting, apart from the group of the guy in China. And the Tigers. And the Tigers who are controlled, I don't even want to mention that the details of that. But the ASC, they have come out of there. We have seen their videos. Why is it that it has not? They don't talk about it. They don't want to talk about it. So shine your eyes. Ask questions as citizens. It is your right. As supporters of all groups, ask the leaders questions. If you see something it doesn't work well, ask them questions. Chris Anu is the communication minister for communication minister for communication and IT. Now he has lost credibility. He cannot communicate with the entire population because he has created enemies here or there. So he is not effective. Why should they keep Chris Anu? Why should they keep him? If we are really in a revolution, as they say, we have to go for efficiency. Anybody who is not efficient, anybody who cannot perform his duty, take him out. Take him out. So the way forward, in my closing statement, this is my way forward. I'm saying this with consultation with a lot of people within the interim government and a lot of people out of the interim government. The way forward will be that they have to convene another conclave where all the group leaders will come together, all the stakeholders will come together and create a common front and do what we were supposed to do in Zaria. We have to redo it. We have to redo it. If we continue using the same people who are not effective, we continue to use Chris Anu, nobody is not going to take him seriously. They will keep on talking about tsunami and volcano and all those things. He will not be effective. If Dr. Sako, whom we all know, he came out of a meeting with the leaders and sabotaged unity. He has not demonstrated any leadership in terms of uniting people. If we follow him, for sure we are not going to be united. Because the people in the interim government who were close to him and they were calling me and telling me that whatever we are saying outside, he's saying outside to us, behind he's saying different things. He has proven now that they were right. We were thinking that they were just trying to sabotage him. They are the people within his administration who do not want unity. But the fact that he will come out from a meeting that only he was there and spill out the beans that Chris Anu have spilled out shows that he lacks the political will to unite. And if we are unable to unite, we cannot go to Boya. That one is fact. So give us a leader who can unite. One of the falsehoods that they get is try to tag people. Okay, if you say that you criticize the interim government, they'll come and say that it's because you support Ayabacho. It's very childish. Because you support Ayabacho, that is why you criticize the interim government. No. I believe in the interim government. I believe that the interim government is the tool that is supposed to take us to Boya because it is supposed to be the voice of all the groups. But I'm frustrated with them because they are not what they are supposed to be. Instead of them being the voice of the nationalist group, they have become the voice of their own people that they have chosen, of the groups that are supporting the interim government, of the country heads. It is the interim government for the country heads, by the country heads, to the country heads. It's not the interim government of Ambazonia. It is the interim government of the country head. It is a diaspora initiative. It has become a reality of them so much that they don't even know again that the consortium belongs to the interim government. They were insulting Jomba Akoro so much that they didn't even know that this is the organization that gives them legitimacy. So they have gone into their own head. They have to rejuvenate. They have to rejuvenate. So ladies and gentlemen, I will look if I have any questions. That I support Dr. Ayabacho. Of course, I support Ayabacho. I also support other leaders because when I see Ayabacho, for me, I'm very pragmatic. Ayabacho has a plan. Anybody who have a plan can speak. He have a plan. He have a roadmap that he believes in it. And I can see that it is plausible. All the military victory, biggest military victory was done by Ayabacho. The diplomatic success we're having is done by Ayabacho and Akwanga. Look at the victory Akwanga has in South Africa. They have given him almost an embassy there. If I look at Dr. Godi Jinka, I can see his diplomatic tools that he can use. If I look at Bo Herbert, I can see his roadmap. If I look at the interim government, there is no plan that I can point to. If I talk to the guys in the Restoration Council, they say there is no plan. You talk to the country heads, they are like dumb. They don't know what is going on. So why do you think I should, tell me what I should support? I don't support groups. I support ideas. Tell me what idea should I support in the interim government. I support the concept because the concept is good. This is what Ambazonia people want. They want all of us to work through a centralized organization. That's why I support the idea of the interim government. But I do not support the interim government because they don't have anything for me to support. Should you tell me I should just go and support somebody because they collect money and then I'll use the money? No. They have failed to exploit the diplomatic advantages that we have. So why should I support the interim government? You that you support the interim government, tell me why. Tell me why, and I will tell you if you are right or wrong. Do you support the interim government because it is popular? Do you support the interim government because you love our president, Ayok Tabi? If that is the reason that you love the interim government, I will tell you that keep that reason aside. When we go to Boya, bring it in. Right now, we need pragmatism. We need pragmatism to go to Boya. Ask yourself, I have given you questions to go and ask the measure activists and the interim government. Now, ask yourself from what you have said, ask yourself, why do I support the interim government? Go and write a list. Why do I support the interim government? The only reason I'm seeing online, judging from the online comments, is that I support the interim government because all of us in Ground Zero are listening to the interim government. I support the interim government because the interim government is a government. I support the interim government because I like the interim government. I hate Ayabacho. This guy, he wants to be president. I hate Dr. Akwanga. He said that Johnny just come. I hate Bo Herbert because he go and resign. I hate Godidinka because he's too complicated. He talk too much big grammar. Ambazonia, shine your eye. Shine your eye. Remember where to be done the talk from January till now. Una be deny, una kokosh me. Some people then say, I'll go rest. Ma closing my platform for some time, I'll go she don't rest. Wait till that happen. The same people them, where they be coach me sute, go come back. That same people them, they don't resign for that government. That same people they don't begin talking now say, na true say interim government no be get plan. Na true say the my trip to Boya, it nobody really work the way it be supposed to be. Na true say, when I go talk to na true say, me people they die before I go realize. When I go wait to na next year na December when I go can't talk say we make unity. If una like, una keep Sako for day, high day for day. Una keep Sako for day. For only for protect people of Nigeria. For pay lawyer for Nigeria, it no go cost them more than 1 million naira. For go for court for Nigeria, pass injunction order, me then stop for begin deport people from Nigeria to Cameroon. They never do one. For help Sako Seseko, una go bring a woman, force a woman. If a woman no can raise fund, una no go pay lawyer them. Now it's in that way they. Una go for Cameroon, go talk for lawyer the one they pay them. Me then begin advertise interim government for national TV. Me then begin give una shout out. Let's say na money will go farote DJ. Me DJ begin mention una name. Una don't take this struggle turn and so. Yeah, now na sabi. I don't talk my own. I go only talk am. I no go come off here because the blood for the poor the way it flow for ground for the it touch me for here. I know we surrender. I know we she don't quiet. No matter what it happen. Na caterpillar go stop me. Na caterpillar go stop me. I go continue the talk am. Just like honorable way I be stand for talk for front Pobia and for their parliament. I go stand for here begin talk for our own Ambazonia people them and their parliament. Una like, una do anything. When injustice, when inefficiency, when incompetent becomes the government, we shall resist. Until we have a leader that can take us to Boya, we shall resist. Until we have a leader that have a vision, that have a roadmap to go to Boya, we shall resist. It is not tolerable that in the face of the debt that we have, we cannot tolerate leaders without an agenda. Leaders without a plausible plan. We cannot tolerate it. And you, the Ambazonia people, in your silence, for your convenience, for your comfort, you are guilty. You have followed blindly advices that were due to your convenience. You have insulted people. You have insulted me. When I was here talking about all these things, they were insulting me. You go and join the other activists that were insulting. You are insulting. Today, those same activists are coming now to say that, yes, it is true. The interim government is that. I'm saying, but now, so what? You are saying after how many months? So how many months? Me, I'll be there for inside conclave. When they be the drive people of outside, I know be shouldn't for inside because I be no say be wrong. I come up for outside, go meet all the people for outside. Mark Barata be there for outside, they don't drive Mark Barata, they me they no come for day. With Cristiano, them, all them. I know be she done for inside. I come out, now my character that. I come up for day. You know, be inside, be the support them. But I come up for day for go here wait till they talk them. For ready can she don't can ask and say, but this one I do and say correct. All man be she done for inside play with them up close, quiet. All man the only one shows to say, na me I like you past the other one. Na me I support you past. I will buy a case. I will buy a case so that tomorrow whether you go remember me or na wait to you or na then sabi. So, ladies and gentlemen, thank you very much for participating in this forum. I hope you have gained or learned something. Give the feedback comments. I have a lot of messages. Sometimes I don't have time to answer those messages. But please, every time if I successfully answer your message or I call you, don't feel embarrassed. Don't insult me that I forget you or whatsoever. It's sometimes very difficult. It's very stressful living the double life, activist life, and you have to live your daily life and keep up with the pressure of the struggle. Sometimes I stay on the phone for 4 hours one day. It's very stressful, but it is not as stressful as the people who are fighting on the ground. Let's keep it up. Remember, 22nd of September is Memorial Day. Remember, 1st of October is National Day, Memorial Day. Remember that we are not yet independent. We have to fight for our independence until we win. If we give up, if we don't have the right strategies, they will win us. La Republic have advantage. Don't forget, La Republic have advantage. They are the ones who have advantage, not us. So we are the ones who have to fight harder to go to Boya. God bless you. Have a wonderful day. May the struggle be short. May our independence and